All right, they're going to move the roller down. So it's about at your bra strap, or the two pillows about at your bra strap. And hands are at the base of your skull, elbows are in your peripheral vision. Tailbone's heavy, waist is floating off of the mat. You're going to slowly lower yourself backwards. And stay here and breathe into your breastbone, so into your sternum, across your collarbones. And your hands can control how far you go back. So if going all the way back is just too much of a stretch, you can first adjust where the roller is or where the pillows are. The higher up they are towards your head, the more comfortable it will be. The lower down, the more of a stretch. So your choice where you want the pillows or roller to go. And again, slowly lower yourself backwards and stop where you feel a gentle stretch. And breathe. And take another deep breath in here on this stretch. And as you breathe out, bring your chin down towards your throat a little bit. Take your front bottom ribs, which are splayed open because you're hanging backwards. Those ribs are going to close towards each other. Point down towards your pelvis just to come to a straight spine. And then inhale and hang backwards. As you're hanging backwards, the abdominal is going to stretch. The front of the rib cage opens. And as you come into a straight spine, the chin's going to drop down just a little bit, not all the way down to your throat, but just a little bit. And narrow the front of the ribs. And give them a little pull down towards the pelvis just to get your spine in a neutral position. A few more times, inhaling and hanging backwards. Exhaling, using those abdominals to come into a straight spine. And feel the navel drawing in towards your spine. That's going to help too. But also watch that the tail is not tucking under. We're going to do that in a minute, but not yet. So keep the pelvis in neutral. Some weight down, like the tip of your tailbone, down towards those sit bones. 2 more times. On the next one, you're going to stay in a straight spine. Now, just from the waist down, you are going to tuck the tail under, bringing the waist down towards the floor, and then float your waist away from the floor. So the pelvis is tipping one direction and tipping the other. So it's tipping towards you and away from you, or tipping back and tipping front. And feel the abdominals as they scoop out. That's what's tipping the pelvis into a posterior pelvic tilt. And as you're breathing in, send that weight down towards your tailbone and your sit bones. Or think of reaching your pubic bone, think of reaching that forward. That can also help get you into that anterior pelvic tilt. 2 more times. And 1 more time. And let's come off of this roller. Oh, we lost someone. We lost Pesci. I know last time we had a class, we had some skipping of the video or sound or something was going on. So let me know if there's any major issues this time. Hello, Pesci.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I had to take that call. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. No worries. All right, continue on. So you're going to take the roller and place it underneath your pelvis. So you either sit on it and lean yourself backwards, or the pillows. There we go. Or the easier way is to place the roller or pillows underneath your knees, lift up your hips, and then scooch the roller or pillows underneath your pelvis. If you have the long roller, drape your wrists over the roller. If you have the short roller or you have pillows, you can just rest your arms down to your mat. And those sit bones are pointed straight forward. And we're just doing a little bit of marching, just to feel that crease in the hips, the pelvis staying level. So no tipping of the pelvis on this one. And if you have the roller and it feels like too much of a stretch, if you're just too high off the ground today, it does not feel good on your back or your hips, feel free to switch to a pillow or 2 pillows. 1 more set. And then keep your belly drawing in. Bring one leg into tabletop. Bring the other leg to join it. Let's point our toes today. You're going to lower and tap your tippy toes onto the mat or come close to the mat and come right back up. And you can also do a relaxed tabletop. That's an option too, if that feels better for your hips, your back, your abdominals. Shoulders are relaxed, so watch as you start to lower the toes. The shoulders don't curl and pop up off the floor. And there's no tension, no wrinkling in between your eyebrows. So relax your eyebrows, relax your eyes, relax your jaw. Just right here is working. And the thighs, those are working too. And the bottoms of the feet to point the toes. One more set. And then bring the legs all the way together. Again, tabletop, relax tabletop. Lower both feet down towards the mat and then come right back up. Keeping your neutral. So if you start to feel your back arching away from the floor, you've lowered your feet too far. You do not have to touch the floor. Two more times. Bring your legs back up. Now flex your feet, which that probably feels pretty good. Bring the heels together and the knees apart. Lower just one heel down towards the mat. And pick it back up and then switch heels. Keeping that diamond shape with the legs and the belly drawing in. Two more sets. And last set. And then keep both heels together. Press them together, lower both heels down. And lift both legs back up. Again, watching that you don't lose your neutral on the way down or on the way up. Just two more. And last one. Bring your inner thighs together, hug your knees into your chest for just a moment. Feel free to lose your neutral pelvis and kind of tuck yourself into a ball. And breathe for a minute. You can also stir your knees in a circle if you feel like, ooh, that was a lot for my hip joints. And then lower your feet down onto the mat. And we're going to do a bridge, just lifting the hips off of the roller. So if you have a roller, hold on to the side so it doesn't roll away from you, or just keep the arms straight. We're just going to pick your pelvis up off of your roller, off of your pillows, and lower straight back down. And pick them back up and lower back down. And see if you can lift both sides equally. It doesn't matter how high you lift. Even if you're still in contact with the pillow or the roller, totally fine. Two more times. And last one. Just stay here and breathe. And take a moment, pick up your toes and spread them out and put them back down. Keep reaching your kneecaps forward. Feel like your thigh bones are parallel to each other and the knees aren't falling up and to the right and to the left. So feeling the big toe joints and that connection of the big toe joints up your inner thighs and up those inseams, all the way up to your pelvis, up towards your pubic bone. And then lower your pelvis back down. And you're going to stretch out the leg that's furthest from your device and hug the knee into your chest that's closest to your device. You're going to have your hands on your knee or behind your knee, whatever feels the best. If your knee is a little sensitive, it's okay not to touch your knee. And just stay here and breathe. And the leg that's stretched out, that foot's heavy down to the floor. If a straight leg is just too much, feel free to bend the knee and have the kneecap aimed up towards the ceiling. So that's another option too. And then place your hands around your thigh, reach your foot up towards the ceiling. You have options. You can keep the other leg out straight. You can straighten both legs if you'd like. If that is way too much, you can keep this knee a little bit bent. Or you can bend the other knee, which may allow this one to straighten a little bit more. So either one knee bent, both knees a little bit bent, or both legs straight. Your choice. And stay here and breathe for a moment. So we're doing a static stretch, so it should be a very gentle stretch. So adjust if as you're hanging out here in the stretch, it starts to feel more intense and more intense and more intense, then you need to back off on the stretch a little bit. What you want to do is go for a gentle stretch, and as you're hanging out here, you're like, oh, This feels more and more comfortable the more I hang out here, and then you can deepen the stretch a little bit as the seconds go by. And then take your foot. Let's do circles with our ankles today. And then reverse the circle. And then take the leg across your body. Pelvis is going to stay on the pillow or the rollers. And just stay there for a stretch. You may feel this along the side of your shin. You may feel it up by your knee. You may feel it up your thigh a little bit. You can play with the position of that foot. That'll change also where you feel the stretch. You may even feel it even down towards your ankle bone. And then bring your leg back up. We're going to switch legs. So, and again, if you need to get rid of the roller, if you're like, this is just uncomfortable today, I don't like it, don't use it. I'm not there to tell you what to do. So if you want to switch to pillows, go right ahead. If you don't want the pillows, you just want to lay on the mat, you can do that as well. So one knee is hugged into your chest, the other one is out straight or slightly bent with a foot heavy into the floor. And you're just breathing. And feeling that stretch along the front of the thigh, into the front of the hip. And just make sure you're breathing. And then place your hands around your thighs. So we're going to go for that static stretch. Either both legs straight, one knee bent, the other knee bent, or both knees a little bit bent. Whatever feels the best. And hang out here for a moment, finding that stretch that feels gentle, and that as you are hanging out here, it starts to subside, so then you can deepen the stretch. And you're just watching it doesn't start to become more and more intense. If it does, back off on the stretch a little bit. And then take the foot in a circle. And take some deep breaths while you're stretching. And then reverse the circle. And then take that leg across your body. You can play around with what you do with that foot, because that'll change where you feel the stretch or how intense the stretch is. And make sure you're breathing. And then bring the leg back up. Get yourself back with your legs in tabletops. If you need to adjust your roller or adjust your pillows, get yourself back in position and both legs in tabletop. You're going to straighten your knees and bring your feet towards the ceiling. And then you're going to bend your knees. So you're just going to find that spot where you can straighten the knees as much as possible without losing your neutral pelvis. So as you start to straighten your knees, your pelvis starts to tuck under, your weight shifts on your pillows, your roller starts to pop up from underneath you, you straighten the knees too much. So how far can you straighten the knees? Keeping the thigh bone still and keeping the pelvis still. So we're trying to keep a 90-degree angle in the hips. So starting at that tabletop position, it's okay to stop here and then just go back to tabletop. Wherever that is, that you can feel that stretch without losing your neutral, without losing the 90 degrees in the hip joint. And then stop where you can straighten the knees the most, whatever that is. And then open your legs to the width of your roller. Go even a little bit further if that feels good, and then bring the legs back together. So this can be done with completely straight knees. It could also be done with legs and tabletop or somewhere in between. So go where you feel like a little stretch on your hamstrings, but you're not losing your neutral. It doesn't pull on your pelvis so much that it tips your pelvis. Two more times. And last one. So you're going to bring the legs back up, whether they're bent or straight, doesn't matter to me. You're going to lower one leg down towards the floor. It can start to straighten more as it lowers towards the floor. You're going to lift back up and switch legs. So if at the top you need to bend a little bit, that's totally fine. If you can keep it straight, that's fantastic too. But what's most important is that you're keeping your neutral, your navel's drawing in towards your spine, your shoulders are relaxed, your face is relaxed. One more. We're going to continue with this leg lowering, except we're going to do an external rotation. So flex your feet, make a V shape. It's okay, again, if the knees are a little bit bent, that's totally fine. So find that V shape with the feet. You're going to keep the legs in that same externally rotated position. Lower one leg straight down towards the floor, just like we did before, and lift it back up. The only difference is the legs are an external rotation rather than a neutral position. And the feet are flexed instead of pointed. But just watch the leg doesn't swing out to the side somewhere. It's going straight down towards your mat and straight back up to bring the heels back together. Two more sets. Again, the knees can be a little bit bent because you may go, oh, I'm starting to lose my roller. If you're starting to lose your roller, bend the knees a breath. Last set. Bring your legs back to parallel, lower your feet back onto the floor, and you're going to lift up your hips and set your roller or set your pillow aside. Don't set it too far away because we'll come back to it. Feet are sit bones width apart. You're going to step into your feet and bridge your hips up, reaching your kneecaps forward over your toes. And then relax your spine back down, one vertebra at a time. And again, bridge your hips up and you're going to stay there. Then shift your weight into one foot and pick up the other leg into tabletop, or even just an inch or two off the floor is fine too. So you could do little tiny marching steps, or you could do big marching steps, whatever you feel like doing today. A couple more sets of marching. And then have weight back in both feet. And relax your spine back down. So keep the legs activated. So your back can relax. The whole front of your body is relaxing. The whole back of your body is relaxing. And then finish back in neutral. Bridge your hips up again and stay there. So if you're doing the little marching steps, you're just going to barely pick your foot up, put it back down. Pick that same foot up again and put it back down. So instead of switching feet, we're going to do the same foot. If you're doing up to tabletop, you're just going to tap the foot, pick it right back up. So no switching yet of the feet. If you start to feel your lower back, make your whole bridge a little closer to the floor. So you're just hovering off the floor. You're still going to feel your legs. Two more. Last one. Lower your foot, switch sides. So either little tiny marching step and tapping the foot on the floor, or up to tabletop and tapping the heel on the floor. If you need a little extra support too, you can also press your arms down into the mat. So your arms are assisting your leg. Two more. And then have weight back in both feet. And relax your spine back down.